He goes, I went. He said it was the best sporting event I had ever been to.
Wow.
I'm a huge soccer fan now. So, I mean, that's testament to the vibe and the energy. And it's really an amazing building and a really amazing guest experience. You know, it is unique to have both, NFL and MLS teams in the same venue, especially here in the U.S. when we have a seating capacity of about 70,000. Most MLS facilities are probably in the mid-20s. So it's very large. It's much larger than is typical. But the beauty of having Arthur owning both teams and being completely committed to winning and completely committed to both fan bases is we built the building to accommodate both. So every detail on the project was, we got to look at it like a soccer facility, a football club. We got to look at it like American football team facility as well. And so there's separate locker rooms. Sight lines were taken into account for both sports. Obviously, a soccer pitch is much bigger than an American football field, so you got to accommodate that. We built the building to easily convert the building between football and football. American football. So we've got to do that overnight sometimes. We've had matches where we had 70,000 people in the building Saturday night for a 7 p.m. Match. And then the next day at 1 o'clock, the Falcons played. And so we've got to convert the field. So it's a massive undertaking.
Are you literally, you personally, going straight through? Scarcely any time to sleep?
Totally. Yeah, completely. There's no break at all. In fact, this building has to be one of the busiest stadiums in the world because we have two home teams. And of course, laying over the schedule to fit that all together. With Atlanta United, you've got much more time and to fit that in. The first half of the season is pretty easy. The second half of the season is where we overlap with the NFL. And then in a sense, we have a third home team too, and that's college football. Because we have so many collegiate football games in our venue. A typical university hosts 6 home games, and this year we're slated to host 7 college football games. So in a way, it's like having 3 home teams. So the building was built specifically for Atlanta United. It was built specifically for the Falcons. It was designed to be able to convert from one to the next easily overnight. So we can flip the building in about 12 hours. And then the other thing that's cool about the building from a technology standpoint is it's all digital. So all the signage and graphics virtually inside the building is all LED. So we have this large halo board that rings the opening of the roof. It's a retractable roof stadium with a unique 8-petal roof that we can open in about 8 minutes. Obviously, we have to play artificial turf because we have too many events and we'd have too much shade. So it's just green turf. So we have to paint everything and clean everything off. So if we have a soccer match Saturday night, as soon as the match, before the fans are even gone, we're taking the goals off, the painted lines are off. And then by the morning, if you were to come to Mercedes-Benz Stadium at about 8 in the morning, you would look like it's an American football venue. So it's really slick from that standpoint. Our grounds crew does a fantastic job. But the graphics and all is all digital. So push of a button, we can change it to a college football venue, to a Falcons, to United. So all that stuff was built in. And then the other thing unique too, we have a curtain system. We have 3 bowls, seating areas, lower, mid, and upper. And about 6 or 7 of our matches, we sell the whole stadium out with 70,000 people, which is really an amazing environment. And the rest of the matches, we scale the building for 40,000. So we have a curtain system we can drop from the ceiling, scales the building nicely so it doesn't look like you're in an empty stadium.
Okay.
So if you ever do get here for a match, whether we have 40,000 or 70,000, it's absolutely amazing. And just to give you an idea of how people have taken to soccer here in the U.S., I had some renovation done on my condo recently, and my contractor, who's about my age, had never been to a soccer match in his life, didn't know anything about soccer, was a typical American sports fan of typical sports, football, basketball, baseball. And I said, hey, Carl, I've got 4 tickets to the match. In this playoff season had just started last fall. I said, would you like to use these tickets? He said, sure. And I was almost sure he was going to give it to one of his workers. And so the weekend came and went, and I saw Carl the next week. I said, hey, Carl, how'd the match go? Who got a chance to go? He goes, I went. He said it was the best sporting event I had ever been to.
Wow.
I'm a huge soccer fan now. So, I mean, that's testament to the vibe and the energy. And it's really an amazing building and a really amazing guest experience. But from a soccer standpoint, a football standpoint, it's a great match day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the curtains sound fascinating because we've got sort of new build stadiums in the UK. I can think of one from a club called MK Dons in a town or a city that has grown relatively quickly, hasn't got an established football club. So they built a big stadium, but of course the whole top tier is just empty because they've built it to grow into. So those curtains, that fan experience is so important. And I know as well that Arthur Blank had said he didn't want to see any NFL markings on that pitch when there was a soccer match going on, and vice versa. Is it that attention to detail that is one of the key characteristics of your setup, Scott?
It is. And you know, from Darren Eels and Carlos on the team side to our marketing people to our game day production folks, everything is geared towards making it a great fan experience. There's no detail that we don't overlook. We're constantly finding ways to ask our fans how we're doing and to make things better and make it more exciting. And we're really blessed to have a great supporters groups. If you were to come to a match day, and while we were getting ready for the Super Bowl, I had a guy from a German media outlet come, and he was doing a little preview about the stadium as we were about to host the Super Bowl. And he was a football reporter, but he came on match day. And I said, you really should come on match day so you can see the building in action, because I can walk around the stadium and point things out, but it's quiet. It's just not the same. And I know it's soccer versus American football, but I want you to see what it's really like here, because I'd love to hear your reaction to it. And B, you get a sense of what the stadium is like. And he was completely blown away that the energy, the flags, the drums, the chanting, people on their feet for most of the match. It's a really cool experience. So we did a lot of things right, but it was a huge team effort, and there's no detail that we don't pay attention to.
And is it a very different experience, you know, as you walk around and observe everything? And have you tried things for, say, a soccer match that you've taken from NFL and it simply didn't work? Or do you find it's a very 80% of it, you'd find it hard to tell?
Yeah, you know, I think the football side, American football side, is watching closely to see what has happened on the soccer side, because the fan enthusiasm and support has been amazing in such a short time. So we definitely do learn, you know, from soccer to football, and obviously we apply the things we know from American football to make the game day for soccer the best we can. But they're distinctly different too. So you can't just cut and paste.
I've been challenging our students to write down their 3 sort of takeaways from each session that we do. And I can already spot one, because I just want to be absolutely clear I understood that. When you've got back-to-back events, some might think, oh, you've been in the game a long time, you can delegate certain responsibilities. But there are literally nights, I think you said, when you do not sleep if there's a tight turnaround between games.
Yeah, we're going hard, really hard through the night. Whenever we have a back-to-back, we've got, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people going through the night. And you know, I really appreciate everybody who does something on game day to make it happen. Everyone's incredibly important to the team. You can imagine what it's like trying to clean up after 70,000 people, so that the next day when you open gates, you have no idea that you threw a gigantic party the night before. The housekeeping people are absolutely invaluable. Our scoreboard AV production team, our security people, our engineering people. You imagine trying to sell food and beverage for 70,000 people, and you have a blowout party one night, and the next day they come back again the very next day. And we have a very unique food and beverage program. We have the highest rated food and beverage experience in all of the soccer teams and all of the NFL. And again, that's Arthur's vision to do something differently. And so we have about 670 points of sale. We have very affordable pricing. We sell Cokes for $2. We sell you the cup. You can refill it the whole time. You're at the game for just $2. You know, a hot dog's $1.50. Pricing is very affordable. You won't wait in line long. The quality of food is great, and the service you get is great. So that means we have a lot to clean up on after that too.
Yeah, well, quite. But actually, do you find that the modern customer and therefore the modern sports organization has to embrace all that stuff? Because you know what we're like, we've got traditional football, or our football, so what you call soccer, going back to our FA Cup 1872, our leagues 1888. And it's almost like in certain quarters, if you talk about the beverage or the periphery experience, it's almost like a dirty word, whereas actually the modern fan wants to be looked after, wants to be in a clean seat, wants to have a variety of food choices.
Yeah, absolutely. The most important thing is the action on the field. I mean, that's why you're there. You're there to support your team. But in today's world of entertainment and the choices people have and the ability to watch HD TV from home and from the comfort of your sofa, you got to compete against that. And we don't view other sports venues necessarily as our only competition. We view any form of entertainment as our competition. So everything we do, we look at who's doing it the best in whatever industry, and then we want to deliver that kind of experience or better in our stadium. So the sports venues have gotten much more complex. And the level of service that people expect and the level of service that we deliver is way more than you would have found 5-10 years ago. And I'm confident saying a year from now it'll be even a better experience.